इस्लामिक फाउंडेशन ऑफ टोरंटो साल साल से कम्युनिटी की खिदमत करता चला आ रहा है। यहाँ पर कम्युनिटी के लिए मुख्तलिफ सर्विसेज दी जाती हैं, जैसा कि मैयत और तदफीन, जरूरतमंदों के लिए फूड की तकसीम, निकाह, मशावरती खिदमत, फुल टाइम हिफ्ज प्रोग्राम, इवनिंग क्लासेस, संडे इस्लामिक स्कूल, सीनियर्स प्रोग्राम, रूहानी और मजहबी सेमिनार। इस्लामिक फाउंडेशन ऑफ टोरंटो के अखराजात आपके दिए हुए डोनेशन से पूरे होते हैं। इन्हें आपके डोनेशंस की जरूरत है। डोनेशन के लिए कॉल कीजिए 416-321-0909 या विजिट कीजिए www.islamicfoundation.ca।
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuhu. Ramadan Kareem, dear brothers and sisters. Today, inshallah, we'll be talking about the health benefits of fasting. So, as we know as Muslims, fasting has multiple health benefits. However, the secular world has only just come to know of all of the benefits over the last 1 to 1.5 decades. Now, aside from the religious obligations upon Muslims during the holy month of Ramadan, fasting, we know, has countless health benefits as well. From improved weight management, healthier red cell regeneration, through to better heart function and vascular well-being, fasting has become the to-go method to a young, fit, and healthy individual amongst Muslims and non-Muslims alike. So let's dig a little bit deeper and see why this is the case. As you know, when we fast and we abstain from all solids and liquids, it essentially helps give our organs resting time or downtime, and it helps us get rid of any toxins that may be circulating and essentially helps improve blood circulation. Do you ever get that feeling of not being able to tell when you're full or eating out of pure boredom? Fasting can help solve those problems as well. By structuring your day around everything apart from eating, your body eventually gets accustomed to not feeling hungry all the time. During the holy month of Ramadan, many Muslims who are partaking in the obligatory fast will experience many cravings during the fasting day, only to find that they are not able to consume much upon opening their fast. This is due to the fact that the less you put into your stomach over a period of time, the more the stomach shrinks, leading you to feel full after just a small amount of food. As our bodies get accustomed to how often we eat, a few days of intermittent fasting can drastically decrease our appetite in the long run. Upon breaking the fast, the human body cannot consume a large amount comfortably as the stomach shrinks, leading you to feel satisfied after a smaller meal than you normally would. This process also increases the production of the thyroid hormone in your body, boosting your metabolism in the process. Now let's talk about metabolism. One of the most obvious results of fasting is alleviating obesity. Fasting prompts the liver's enzymes to break down cholesterol and fats and converts them into bile acid, which in turn converts to heat, ultimately stimulating a faster metabolism. Naturally, fasting also decreases the appetite, which reduces the hunger hormone levels in the body. You may just find your portion sizes being significantly smaller following your periods of fasting. Next, we're going to talk about weight loss, which is always on everyone's mind. The term fasting means to refrain from food or drink, even both, depending on whether you're doing it for secular or non-secular reasons. When the human body is undergoing the starvation process, the body turns to fat in order to utilize and burn any stored energy first. If done correctly, fasting can do wonders for weight loss, particularly for loss of fatty tissue in the body, leading to a better physical structure overall. Incorporating intermittent fasting into a regular resistance training program will help promote fat loss and quicker results outside the month of Ramadan. So something certainly we can carry outside of our fasting month. Now let's talk about the immune system. Partaking in fasting promotes healing in the human body as it applies core focus to its immune system and metabolism, as opposed to focusing purely on the digestion. The immune system is largely comprised of the white blood cells, and fasting encourages your body to recycle any old white cells, which results in a healthier, more robust immune system. Your body then regenerates stem cells that consist of red and white blood cells along with your platelets once your body starts to consume the food again. Next, we'll talk about blood pressure. Blood pressure, as you know, will naturally decrease because your intake of salt has also decreased during the day. Lastly, we will talk about improved cardiovascular function. Fasting can lead to a healthier heart by virtue of lowering your cholesterol, promoting muscle performance, along with enhanced blood vessel growth. And one of the aspects of fasting, which we typically don't discuss specifically in a Ramadan environment or in an Islamic environment, is really the mental health portion of this. Fasting goes significantly long ways to help balance your mind and reducing mental stress. How? Fasting is known to strengthen the mind, sharpen focus, and improve mental clarity. And this basically happens the same way that fasting helps in the digestion. Essentially, you are now redirecting your blood circulation to different parts or different organs of the body, namely your brain. So, in turn, although you may feel groggy, you may feel tired and lethargic after fasting for 8 to 9 hours, know that your actual mental acuity has improved. And this is based on recent research that was done with MRI uptakes showing increased circulation in certain parts of the brain that is responsible for memory. And one of the best parts of fasting is it also has anti-aging properties. Fasting can potentially slow down the aging process, keeping you looking younger and fitter for a longer periods of time. How so? This basically just enables you to increase your collagen production and makes your skin appear more radiant and healthier. Lastly, we will talk about cognitive function, which I alluded to very briefly earlier. During the fasting process, blood in the human body is filled with more endorphins, which in turn gives you the increased feeling of well-being, and as previously mentioned, can improve your mental health. So in summary, we're going to say fasting is a tool used by both Muslims and non-Muslims alike and has a plethora of health benefits. And inshallah, I hope some of these points have been helpful for you, and hopefully you can think about these points inshallah while you're fasting and you have those hunger pangs coming. Just know that there is multiple health benefits. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
इस्लामिक फाउंडेशन ऑफ टोरंटो साल साल से कम्युनिटी की खिदमत करता चला आ रहा है। यहाँ पर कम्युनिटी के लिए मुख्तलिफ सर्विसेज दी जाती हैं, जैसा कि मैयत और तदफीन, ज़रूरतमंदों के लिए फूड की तकसीम, निकाह, मशावरती खिदमत, फुल टाइम हिफ्ज़ प्रोग्राम, इवनिंग क्लासेस, संडे इस्लामिक स्कूल, सीनियर्स प्रोग्राम, रूहानी और मजहबी सेमिनार। इस्लामिक फाउंडेशन ऑफ टोरंटो के अखराजात आपके दिए हुए डोनेशन से पूरे होते हैं। इन्हें आपके डोनेशंस की जरूरत है। डोनेशन के लिए कॉल कीजिए 416-321-0909 या विजिट कीजिए www.islamicfoundation.ca.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yusuf Badat here on behalf of the Islamic Foundation of Toronto. When it comes to our worship in the masjid, it reminds us about the very first house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that was ever established. And that is, Inna awwala baytin wudi'a lin-nasi lalladhi bi Bakkata mubaraka. The Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about the very first house that was ever established for His worship, and that is in Mecca at the Kaaba. So indeed, if we look at the humble beginnings of the Kaaba, we find that the very first time it was ever established, it was instructed to the angels for the angels to establish and build the Kaaba. Then afterwards, Adam alayhi salatu wassalam. And then one of the greatest personalities was the Prophet Ibrahim and Ismail alayhi salatu wassalam, who built the Kaaba and the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it was at a time where the space was empty, it was an empty valley, and there was no one there, and they made the efforts, and after making the efforts, they made dua, they supplicated, رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Allah, accept this from us. And their efforts were so profound that today we find the Kaaba everybody longs to go and everybody wants to go. Now, there is an authentic narration wherein the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, speaks about the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descending at the Kaaba. And that mercy then is distributed across the world to every masjid that is existing on the face of this earth. And that's why when we enter the masjid, what do we say? We say, Allahumma ftah li abwaba rahmatik. Oh Allah, open the doors of your mercy for me. So what mercy are we referring to? We are referring to the mercy that has come down at the Kaaba, and now just like a lighthouse, the light, it rays, it sends down its beams in every direction. That mercy that descends at the Kaaba, it is now distributed to every masjid across the globe. And every time we enter the masjid, then we are able to access that mercy. Allahumma ftah li abwaba rahmatik. Allah, open the gates of your mercy for me. That mercy we are referring to is also the mercy that has descended from the Kaaba and reached to our masjid where we are attending. The Islamic Foundation of Toronto, as mashallah, all of you know, is one of the oldest organizations and masjids in Toronto, serving for over 70 years. And the current site of Islamic Foundation of Toronto has existed here for a number of years and serving the community for all of these years. With the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and with your generous support, these services continue, whether it be the educational services of empowering our youth with the knowledge of Islam. We have huffaz who are in the Hifz program here at the Islamic Foundation of Toronto. Approximately between 300 to 500 huffaz who have memorized the entire Quran from the Islamic Foundation of Toronto Hifz program. And every Ramadan, these huffaz, they are across North America leading Taraweeh prayers for communities in Canada and also America. And we have also situations where a few of them have traveled abroad to different countries outside of the North America's region, and they are leading Taraweeh. So this program, the Hifz program, is chaired by our Imam Qari Yunus Singar and his team of expert teachers who are experts in pronunciation, in memorization, and they are doing an amazing job. We hold the Qiraat conference every year that is related to the Quran. So this is just one aspect of a service that takes place here at the Islamic Foundation of Toronto. And with your support and your contributions, the message of the Quran, the education of the Quran, the teachings of Islam, they continue with your support and your contributions. So this is the month of Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ was asked, when is the best time to give charity? And according to this narration, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, replied and said, in the month of Ramadan. So let us support the Islamic Foundation of Toronto by giving in small and large amounts. Visit the Islamic Foundation of Toronto. You yourself contribute. Have your family and your friends contribute in large and small amounts to help us meet our goal. Every Ramadan, we fundraise to help offset the expenses of the entire year. And this helps us continue our services here at the Islamic Foundation of Toronto. And mashallah, with your contributions, these services continue. I spoke about the Hifz and the Quran program. We have in the evening, outside of Ramadan, in the evenings, the evening madrasa, where children, hundreds of children, every single day, they come in the weekdays and they learn how to recite the Quran. They learn the basics of seerah and the biography of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Learn from his beautiful story and his biography. They also learn about fiqh, the basics of how to perform salah, what are the rulings of zakah, what are the basics of tahara and cleanliness, what is modesty, what is morality, how to have Islamic values, all of these teachings for our children here at the Islamic Foundation of Toronto. For those who cannot attend the weekday program, they attend the Sunday school, which is a very popular program where the children come and they have this education of Islam and Islamic sciences in a fun environment, in a respectful environment, with their age groups, and both male and female teachers who teach our young girls and boys all about the values and the teachings of Islam. Again, these programs require textbooks. They require services from staffing, from organization, and also the overhead costs. And the basic fees that are taken from the children, it is not sufficient to really take care of these expenses. And this is why at occasions like the month of Ramadan, we appeal to you to help us continue these services of providing that education. Then we have the specific programming for social services here at the Islamic Foundation of Toronto. And in these social services, we help the women and children. We help the poor families, the newcomers, those who don't have a job, and recovering from COVID situations. Many people are either on part-time employment or they've lost their employment. And these newcomers and these new families, these immigrant families, etc., they need our support. They depend on the zakah that we are giving them every single month through our social services program. We have a seniors program where we bring in the seniors of our communities, the elders of our communities, and they're able to socialize, they're able to interact and have a sense of community. And we provide meals to these seniors, we provide programming for these seniors, and again, with your contributions and your support, we're able to continue these various programs. So this is the blessed month of Ramadan. Allah accept our fasting, Allah accept our prayers and our supplications, Allah accept our du'as, Allah accept our charity. وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. The appeal is being made to all of you in this blessed month of Ramadan to contribute and give charity. This is the month of muwasat. It's a month of care and compassion. Let us have care and concern for our communities. Without these organizations and these masajid in the North American context where we live in, it's difficult to preserve our identity. It's difficult, and we've learned from COVID and the lockdowns of COVID how important the masjid is, how important the Islamic community is. And these are places, the masajid, where all of these services and all of this sense of community and identity take place. So mashallah, we're appealing to every one of you that you contribute in large and small amounts. Visit islamicfoundation.ca and click the donate button, contribute generously. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for your contributions. He'll give you barakah and blessings in your lives. He will relieve you of your difficulties and your problems, and He will give you the best in this world and the hereafter. And my final appeal in today's segment is, let us at least, if we cannot give large amounts, then let us at least be part of the $1 a day campaign. The Islamic Foundation is appealing to every one of us that we all, at least in the month of Ramadan, contribute the $1 a day. This totals to $365. If we have a number of you who participate in the $1 a day, we can easily, inshallah, offset the expenses of the services, helping the poor and the needy, to continue our programming, to take care of the overhead expenses of the bills that are related to running an organization like Islamic Foundation of Toronto, where thousands of people they benefit from on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly basis. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you for your contributions. Be part of the advancement of Islam in Toronto and Canada through supporting Islamic Foundation of Toronto. Visit islamicfoundation.ca and give your contributions. I make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you. Allah relieve you and give you the best for you and your families, and accept all your prayers, your devotional acts, your fasting, and the best in this world and the hereafter. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
इस्लामिक फाउंडेशन ऑफ टोरंटो साल से कम्युनिटी की खिदमत करता चला आ रहा है। यहाँ पर कम्युनिटी के लिए मुख्तलिफ सर्विसेज दी जाती हैं, जैसा कि मैयत और तदफीन, जरूरतमंदों के लिए फूड की तकसीम, निकाह, मशावरती खिदमत, फुल टाइम हिफ्ज प्रोग्राम, इवनिंग क्लासेस, संडे इस्लामिक स्कूल, सीनियर्स प्रोग्राम, रूहानी और मजहबी सेमिनार। इस्लामिक फाउंडेशन ऑफ टोरंटो के अखराजात आपके दिए हुए डोनेशन से पूरे होते हैं। इन्हें आपके डोनेशंस की जरूरत है। डोनेशन के लिए कॉल कीजिए 4163210909 या विजिट कीजिए www.islamicfoundation.ca।